All right, recognize that the mind is controlled by nature and culture. I guess that's sort of like one of the earlier ones, with a subtle difference. But just, yes, just recognizing that we are controlled by our history, by our evolution, by that DNA molecule, by its ambitions. All right, the consumption, the reproduction, it creates the addictions. And then things like our culture and our conditioning as kids add some more control. They pile some more controlling features on top of us. And it's just, I think it's vital, whether or not you can escape all of that is one question, but the real issue is acknowledge it for what it is, and that is illegitimate control. Nature is an idiot, okay? And our cultures are often just full of nonsense, the bullshit of tradition, based on a faulty and flawed perception of the world. So that really can't be taken at face value. It doesn't have any value on its face. It has no credibility as a source of understanding. Our personal experiences don't make a truth. They're evidence, but you can't let the fact that certain things happen to you and you've acquired a disposition, a sensibility, rule you. You have to understand that that happens to you, that you acquire subjective dislikes, preferences, and prejudices that have absolutely nothing to do with the truth. They just have to do with your personal, I won't say deviance because that's the wrong word, but it is a negative word we're looking for. Your personal disposition, but it's a disposition made out of a stupid circumstance, not reality, just your narrow bad exposure to reality, just one little piece of it, and that's not. I just have to protect ourselves against being controlled by that bad meme, that bad knowledge. You really have to, it's just so obvious that you really have to be, culture has to be suspect. What is popular doesn't mean much. And certainly what has been popular for hundreds of years should really be something that right away you should, the flag should pop up and you should say, well, wait a minute. People hundreds of years ago didn't know shit. How can we trust something that's been around for hundreds of years? Number 8, at minimum, pass on no liabilities. There are our addictions, our foolishness, our prejudices and preferences. I pointed out before, but yeah, there's no point in imposing that on the future. The other issue was valuing the future, and I went a little too far with it, but that's the idea is not to corrupt the future with our liabilities. Why impose our liabilities? That's not much different than borrowing their money. It's not much different than stealing their air. We should give the next generation every freedom to be better than us. We certainly shouldn't be blighting them with our bullshit. And that seems like another obvious one. Why would you? Obviously people just aren't self-critical enough. They have so glorified themselves, I suppose, that they think the future needs their liabilities. They need their bigotry, and it really doesn't need your bigotry. It doesn't need your preferences. Beauty will be understood without you, without your particular definition of it. And the same for ugliness. There will be perceptions of these things, and they just don't have to be your perceptions of them, especially when your perceptions are based on bullshit. All right, number 9, think honestly. Well, this is, we kind of do, we know when we're contriving an excuse. You can see it in your own brain. Your brain is giving you little signals saying you're contriving an excuse, you're trying to rationalize your behavior, you're trying to, find some way to justify yourself, and you're really not seeking the truth. And so that right there, as soon as you hear that little voice squeaking, you really should have the principle to say, oh, fuck that. Yeah, let's find the truth. Okay, and if the truth is a little bit damaging to myself, well, okay. But let's go find the truth. Let's not play a game. we really have to use, if our brain is going to work, we really have to follow the basic rules. And the basic rules are, you really can't cheat. I mean, you really have to be honest to yourself. You have to be honest, at least in how you will allow your brain to think. You can give yourselves a pardon, but let's at least admit you're a criminal. Let's at least admit that you were wrong, and that you are wrong, and they will continue to be wrong. But don't pretend it's that there's something, that you're not using, that you don't often let the wheels turn in ways that have nothing to do with finding the truth. So it's just about being honest, at least inside your own head. Alright, number 10, appreciate your power and influence. I mean, that's, none of us see it. We all think we're not the critical vote, and we're not the critical cog, and we're not but you just don't know. I mean, we have to play the part, because even though we think we're failing, or even though we think we're nothing, even though we think we're way in the background, you just don't know how critical you are. I mean, maybe the car needs to run over you for the right thing to happen, or maybe, there's just no way of knowing where you fit in to the future, to what role you played in it, whether you were a link that mattered, or whether you were just some appendage, whether you were part of the real glue of the thing, or just stuff hanging off. And yeah, most of us are just going to be stuff hanging off. We're not going to, we could be pulled out of the equation, and it would shake things up a little bit, but the end result would be pretty much the same. But even that scenario, it's really hard to pull any one of us out without creating a real reconfiguration of the world around you. I mean, it's hard for it not to have the vibration, not to go all through the chain. And but like I said, in the end, it's the big differences are, will it prevent and it's sort of a way of evaluating your own existence, because you want to be able to say at the end of your life that you were an asset, you were something, you didn't weaken the chain to a better future, you strengthened it. You were an asset, you were productive, the world was better off with you being here. And so you kind of want your life at least to be that way, that if you were extracted, there would be some diminishment, something would be lost. It just seems logical to view your life that way. I mean, that's the real goal here. I mean, yes, your personal happiness is going to be important because you're a selfish prick. But in the end, all that matters is how you affect that chain from the past to the future. You're here in the present, and you're creating an influence. And is that influence productive? Is it more good than bad? It seems pretty logical that you have an obligation, a responsibility to be good, to do more good than bad. I mean, it's almost 1 + 1-ish. So anyway, the idea is, so if you want to make a contribution to this video, number a statement of good thinking, a statement of what's an idea that can be conveyed to people that will make them better people automatically just from hearing the idea. Conceptual statements, like the golden rule, or like, judge a man based on the content of his character, not the color of his skin. I mean, that's what we need. We need more statements of such clarity and weight and power to try to get these ideas, these steps to living, these steps to becoming an elegant consciousness. Because that's the game here, right? Is to try to influence each other into something better. So, enough said. Very preachy, but that's the way it is. Some videos are preachy. So the sermon is completed. make your contributions appropriately, and don't leave any rubbish on the floor. Thank you very much.